Why isn't
It's Tuesday afternoon, and you know what that means. It's time for Random Infinity with the Random Christian Show. Today, the Random Christian Show welcomes Pastor Phillip O'Reilly. The Random Christian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. The Advisor is a Facebook group created by the Colonel James Neal Broadus, composed of multi-talents such as actors, directors, artists, writers, and more. If you fall into this category, contact them on Facebook at The Advisor. Our intro music is provided by the Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify or at deadcampers.com. Next week on the Random Christian Show is comedian Andrea Woodfolk. With us as always is the voice in our heads, Matt. My name is Andy. Now here's your host, Kristian Random.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! Hey-o! Hey-o! Hey-o! Hey-o!
Live. Yeah. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah! Yes! That's how we're doing it. That was
made it.
how the show was supposed to start off.
So close. We were so close to starting on time. I loved it.
I know. Hey, this is the closest we've been in a long time. Welcome to it, kids. It's Tuesday, right after the holidays. So yeah, Monday definitely didn't count. You could ignore the rest of the week through Wednesday and Thursday and just start Friday right after that. So there we go. We're good. And speaking of which, I'm about to start working Friday.
Oh, wow.
Monday.
Oh, how long has it been?
A long time.
A long time. What, 3 months?
Almost, yeah. Just about 3 months.
Wow.
I mean, the physical therapist is like, yeah, you're good enough. So
yeah,
I think so. So there we go. Yeah.
Are you a little nervous? You a little nervous about it, or?
I'm nervous about going in and deleting about 9,000 emails that I haven't been able to respond to.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so, hey, Corey Hall. How's it going, buddy?
Hey-o,
Corey
Hall.
Hey-o. All right.
Let me, there. I took care of that. There. Now we can potentially, eventually see
people
Corey Hall
chatting.
and his chats. Yeah. Hey, check this out. See this snazzy hat?
That is a snappy hat there. I like it.
It's a potential new sponsor, Muddy River Tactical. They are on the interweb. Nice. And if you go check them out at muddyrivertactical.com, you can check out, they have custom-made holsters and all sorts of accessories for your shooting and gun-type needs. So make sure you check them out at muddyrivertactical.com. And so, see, look, guys, I told you I'd wear the hat.
There you go.
The hat, but and you know, it also helps reduce a lot of glare in here. So it does match my suit in a.
It was intentional. That was an intentional role there.
I said, hey, do you happen to have a bright orange and gray cap? Well, yes, we do. I said, I have a suit that matches this, so let's bring it on.
This matches my business attire. Perfect.
I feel so complete. And I feel like voguing.
Oh, man.
Get right to it. That's how you do it. So anyway, hey, how you doing, Andrew?
All is well. You know,
all is well.
The sun is shining. I got a lot of work done this weekend. So yeah. You know, all is well, man. Yeah, everything's rolling. So,
and
how about you?
I got a fair amount of stuff done, but I was told to not do much because I've been overstressing my hip.
Sure.
So we are trying to tone it down a little bit, especially before I go back to work and start walking 8 to 10 miles a day.
Of course.
Hey, so what was I going to say? Oh, I think everybody, if they're watching, will see that I'm a little off kilter from the show, and Andy's very small.
I thought that was because I was put in the I was, you told me I did something wrong.
You're in a timeout. You're in a timeout. So
yeah,
it is what it is, and
right.
But we actually have an in-house guest today, which is Pastor Phillip O'Reilly from the Rock of KC. Yes, very excited. It's going to be a fabulous time. He's just so fun and a great guy to talk to. Very passionate about the Word of God, and I love hearing him speak every Sunday. And they are on the web. If you guys ever want to hear some great messages, just go to therockofkc.com and you can listen to him. But before we do that, we got little tidbits here that we're now, Andy, you can do this way better than I can. We have actually kind of been partially sponsored, I guess, in a way we can call it, by a site called Wacky Muffin. They're on YouTube and on TikTok and whatnot. And well, Andy, let's play one of the clips and we'll let the people decide here.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
Clip
here
number
we go.
one happening now.
Clip one. So we're both supposed to sit here quietly and mind our own business and not bother each other. Well, I think I can do that. What about you? I know you can hear me. Yep, that's right. But I'm just gonna sit here and stare you down. That's right. And I'm not gonna touch you. No, I'm not. But I might get real close. Is that bothering you? Is that getting on your nerves just a little bit? Not touching you. Nope, I'm not touching you. Okay, I'm not touching you anymore. I promise. I swear I'll leave you alone. Never mind. Don't worry about it. It's all good. How about some Scooby snacks?
So that cat sounds like somebody I know.
It's a very familiar.
The inner monologue is oddly familiar. I just can't quite place who that cat sounds like.
I don't know, quite honestly. It makes me feel like I've lost my mind, but I'm very close. Really close to it. I might touch it. Is that going to bother you, Andy?
No,
Okay.
don't. All right.
Yeah, you guessed it. It's me. Ah, geez. Wow. I know it was a stretch because that was probably that was like one of the first ones I did for these guys. I've done about, I don't know, seems like a few hundred now. But yeah, they're on YouTube and TikTok and whatnot. So if you like funny cat little or animal videos, there's not just a cat and a dog. There's all sorts of, like, there was a donkey one, and not like a weird donkey thing like Tijuana shows. This was just a fun donkey out there and a duck. There was a duck. And
I hate that we need to preface or asterisk any mention of donkey with nope, not those.
Yeah, well, it is the Random Christian Show, so things have taken a weird turn sometimes. But so anyway, so that's out there if you all want to check it out. It's a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fun doing them. So
that's cool, man. Those are great.
Follow and subscribe. Like, you should like and follow, subscribe this show and review. That would be awesome as well. All right. What else? Oh, and yeah, let's throw out another quick shout out to the Advisor Facebook page with Colonel James Broadus, not Brodus, Broadus.
Yeah, Broadus.
Yeah.
It's a fine
BDS. Okay, I'm not going to go that way again. But yeah, Colonel James, we appreciate all the love and support he gives us, and really, if you are a writer, actor, director, singer, songwriter, playwright, whatever, anything that's creative, check out the Advisor page. A lot of great people on there that you actually can do a lot of great work with as well. So make sure you go there and check them out. Also, what else? Yeah, next week we have comedian Andrea Woodfolk. That's going to be great. She's a very funny, clean comedian. She will be on next Tuesday. The Tuesday after that, we're going to have Kenny Lewis. Get this. He is the guitarist for the Steve Miller Band. Yeah, that's right.
Very cool.
The Steve Miller Band. We are very psyched to have him on. It's going to be a great time. After that, on the 21st, we've got John Bannockburn. I hope I'm saying that right. He is the TikTok chiropractic and chiropractor, I guess I should say. And I was just corrected. Kenny Lewis is currently the bassist for Steve Miller.
Oh, well,
okay. Bass is a guitar.
Even cooler. All right, but they prefer to be known as bassist, as a bassist.
Okay.
Don't
So
say that I play guitar. Say that I play bass.
yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Now you
Violinist.
know. Okay. All right.
Far
Now
better
you
than
know.
being a pianist.
Exactly.
Okay.
I prefer organist.
Yes, but yes, he was also the longtime guitarist for the Steve Miller Band.
Right.
And then at the end of the month, we have very, very funny comedian Maggie Mayfield. She is absolutely hilarious as well. She just won a couple of contests out there in Houston and Austin.
Okay.
Some comedian comedy club
Houston
contest.
based Houston-based comedy. My brother probably knows.
It probably does.
Yeah.
She's all over there, southern part
Okay.
of Texas.
All right.
And then writer director CJ Vecchio. Right after the 4th of July, he does a lot of scary films. He actually did one called The Evil 3,
Okay.
which is based on Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, and Michael
Oh, fun.
from Halloween. And it's about all them together. I haven't even made it that far, so but
Uh,
it's supposed to be very, very good. So I'm very, very
yeah.
excited.
A funny news story to come out over the last, and I know that we're going to go into funny news, but the rights for Winnie the Pooh
Hopefully, funny news.
have entered public domain. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a Winnie the Pooh, a horror movie's coming out where someone's going to be wearing a Winnie the Pooh mask and be the villain of the story. Patsy, you are going to love Top Gun. I saw it this weekend. Enjoy it. Let me know what you think after you get out.
Spoiler alert, everybody dies.
Not in Top Gun.
Oh. I thought we were talking about Endgame. Okay, I'll catch up. Okay, so we're getting the frowny face already from Matt. So Matt's back, by the way. Matt's been out traveling the world, and now he's back, and now he's ready to give us all sorts of hell. So we've got a couple little wacky news stories like we had last week that I was going to share with y'all. And let me get it pulled back up here. And now we haven't really read these stories. We've just kind of grazed the headlines and we just pulled them up out of sheer interest off of that. So, okay, now here comes the share screen. Okay, here we go. All right, so and yeah, this one just intrigued me. 11 of the worst pieces of practical advice life hacker readers ever received.
These lists are always fun to read and to look at, and it's just I mean, it's funny that anybody would reach out on the internet for advice like outside of a social network or something like this, but yeah, some of the things in here are just ridiculous.
Yeah. And it was just absolutely, I mean, okay, first off, I guess this is just about job advice. Just march on down there with your resume and demand to get an interview. Because you know what they do? They go, oh, yeah, you need to apply online. Then we'll call you.
Right.
Every time, no matter where you go.
Yeah. And you don't get security on your ass. And then they know your name at that point. And then even if you do apply online, you will never get in.
It's like, oh, my Lord, really? Yeah, and here's some other beauties right behind. Why don't you just call up some places, see who's hiring? Because nobody knows.
Right.
Nobody ever knows that. Just march on down there. Oh, yeah, with your resume, because they'll be like, oh, well, do you have it on a hard drive or anything? Or,
right.
You just got to knock on a lot of doors. Well, no, that means you got to type in a lot of interwebs. Always get in before your boss and leave after him. He'll notice you're a hard worker. So wrong.
They don't care.
So wrong. They don't care unless you work like with him. If it was like me and Andy, if we were a company, I would notice. I would, because
wait, you're saying that I get here late and I'm only giving 50%?
I'm 68. But it's all right. Well, you make up for it in
good,
cuteness.
I'm giving considerably less, and I'm just glad that you think it's that.
That's solved. Always choose family over friends. Where did this? I mean, yes, yes, always stand by your family. But you know what?
These are
If
like bad.
if your uncle's a mass murderer, you might want to stay a little further away from.
Well,
You
but
know,
these seem like bad Corey Hall Panda Express fortune cookie fortunes. You know,
this is
like
true,
that's
which
yeah,
alludes to last week, and yeah,
right,
we
yeah,
don't need that ever.
no.
And yeah, in fact, Corey, I believe you should you should you really should go to a different Panda Express. Because it seems like you get some really bunk information from your fortune cookies.
Well, no,
Let's
and
see.
all right, so for example, I had I had Panda Express the other day, and it said, "Good
Oh
fortune
God.
is coming your way." Good, like that was the fortune cookie.
Man,
Like
you're like,
clearly that guy's not giving his all when he's writing these, right? Like, good fortune is coming your way. Like, no, 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 no. If I get a fortune cookie, it needs to be more specific. Like, come on, you know?
the fortune cookie writer was a little hungover that day.
Right.
He's like, hey, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm going with the easy one.
Yeah. Like, don't worry.
I've been
The
holding
rash,
this
like,
in a while.
I just need to read, don't worry, the rash will go away. Like, that's a good fortune, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. You need a college degree to be successful. Just ask Elon Musk. Yeah. No degree, guys, bazillionaire. And actually I just saw a news thing where he's calling out Bill Gates for God's sakes. He's like, he's like, come on. And it's not like anybody wants to see them put it on the table. And I don't know. I'm a little worried.
I feel like these were written like in the 50s.
But dude,
Back,
you still hear a lot of these. Oh, you've
well,
got to have a college degree. No,
yeah,
I mean, you don't. I mean, you need
yeah.
some good schooling. And yeah, I get that.
I,
But you don't need a college degree to always be super successful.
well, and to be honest, with the advent of the internet and YouTube,
Yeah.
you can pretty much learn whatever you need to do in an hour or so.
Well, and apparently Google's now
right.
teaching people things. So there you go.
I just fixed my toilets the other day thanks to YouTube. I'm not a plumber.
I'm never using your bathroom.
Are you kidding? What are you talking about? They work perfectly now.
The neighbors might feel different, but hey, they work perfect on my end. That's all that counts.
Hey, seriously, the stuff goes down. That's all that counts.
Yes, it's true. That's all it's important. It's no longer in the house. Let's see, what's another? Always buy a car brand new. Well,
yeah, no.
I don't know about that one.
No.
Yeah, no, that's just stupid. Okay, so we're moving on. Treat a sunburn with a hot shower. This does not work. Learn from experience, and not that
wow.
I, was told to go take a hot shower, but just out of pure stupidity, it was like, oh, I'm sunburned, I'm gonna take a shower. Oh my God, the sun is peeling my. Yeah, that was the worst pain ever.
It's just like the rub some dirt on it. You know?
Or yeah, we remember the red acid that they used to put on our cuts and scrapes back in the day.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
I would run when I saw a thing of Bactine. Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude.
God.
No.
Oh, geez.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Here's a cut. Don't worry. This will make it feel better. When?
Yeah. We've lost connection on Facebook.
That's what Mom told me.
Andy, what in the hell is going on?
This is the Random Kristian show. This is not the Random Andy show.
Oh, well, why did we lose connection on Facebook?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, we'll roll with the punches.
Let me check on that.
Okay. In the meantime, let's max out your credit cards. That's always a smart, huh?
You're back on.
Oh, we're back on. Never mind.
We're back up. All right.
Hey.
Heyo.
So hey, thanks Facebook for we probably got censored is what it was. Because we were talking about, random news, max out your I mentioned Elon Musk. That must have been what it was.
Well, but he bought the other social network.
Yeah, which we are on Twitter, by the way. So
Right. Yeah.
Thanks,
so,
Elon. Max out your credit cards. That's just stupid. Put some butter on it. There it is, right there.
There you
Put
go.
some butter
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, that's that always heals everything.
Right.
I've got a broken arm. Butter. No, actually, parquet. Follow dreams and money will come. That's really not true because I dreamed about getting high a lot back in the days, and I followed that dream, and I was really broke for a long time. Actually, homeless at one point. Make your own replacement views. I've never heard that, but I would, if anybody ever tells you that, walk away quickly. Don't run, just
Yeah.
walk, because if you run, they will pounce.
Right.
It's like a mountain lion. Ignore the bullies, they'll leave you alone. No, punch the bullies in the face. You should buy a house.
Eh.
If you've got the money and resources, maybe that's a good investment. But otherwise, yeah, you might want to stick with renting for a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that all depends on situation. Like, come on,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Uh,
apparently Corey Hall has had no issue with our show on Facebook. So
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. And well, that's it for that one. So we're going to move on to the next one. This one I thought was classic. A European is shocked to learn how American suburbs work, goes online to ask some accurate questions. Well, and this will probably be the last one we do anyway, but
yeah.
what do you actually do? Are you always stuck inside? What did you do when you were a child and couldn't drive? I mean, these are if you're talking about suburbs, these are valid points. You have to get transported somewhere to where you can do something. And then why do you have these sorts of strange regulations? Are your officials so incompetent? Have you met an American politician? Is this due to lobbying from car or oil companies? I don't get it. These are really, you would think these would be stupid questions, but they are very valid points.
But I mean, if you grow up in a spot that isn't somewhere else, then obviously what you know and what someone else's world is completely different. We so we had some foreign exchange students come to our high school, and we were out in the suburbs, out in the East Bay of California, and no, they were mystified by how big our houses were. How long it took just to get to a store or something, right? That we didn't walk everywhere. And that it was just,
that there wasn't a store down the block.
Right. Yeah. So it's a very different, so like, this is totally valid, but to someone can seem completely nonsensical that you're just like, I mean,
obviously different societies. But you go over to Europe and, you're living in a house. Well, 2 blocks down, there's a little store or a pub, or something, a little restaurant here and there. It's mixed in all throughout the housing because people live in their village and they just local wherever they're going. And it works out great. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Why can't you have I don't know. Let's see. Why are there no businesses inside these? I mean, he says it's illegal. Just why? If I lived in such a place, I'd just buy a house next to mine and turn it into a tavern or a convenience store or whatever. It's that simple. Good ideas.
All valid.
We'll lobby for that. Okay, so now it's my new mission. That was fun. Welcome to the Random Kristian Show and Random Misfits. Heyo. Okay. So, moving on through that, we've come up to, our favorite time of the day. This is where we're going to introduce our guest, and we are going to do what we like to call our top 12 list. Today's guest again is a pastor, and hold on. Let me go holler at him real quick.
Okay.
Oh, there he is right there.
Hey,
that was
there
easy.
We go. Nice. Right. Nice work.
And since they're not sponsoring us.
Oh, the hat's gone. All right.
The hat's gone because, we need a little extra.
He just wanted to match, I think.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, Andy, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pastor Phillip O'Reilly from the Rock of KC. Thank you. Oh, you know what? We have an applause button. I forgot about that. We got all sorts of new effects now. Here it is. There. Yeah. It's a little more impressive, isn't it? Yeah, not just two guys going right on.
Oh, it was so hard for me not to put the sounder of two guys clapping and one guy coughing on there. I just want you to know that.
Should have.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen.
No,
now that
it probably will. Yeah.
Probably, we know. So yeah, we've got Pastor Phillip here, and we're about to hit into our top 12. Oh, and I forgot. And you've rearranged the board here a little bit, so now my music's all over. There it is.
Don't
right there.
Blame me.
I know. Don't blame the effects. I got it. There it is. Our little intro music for the top 12 or 12 top. We can't call it top 12. We got to call it 12 top reasons. And Pastor Phillip has agreed to help us out with a few of these. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right into the top 12 top reasons, why it's so hard to be a pastor nowadays. Are you ready?
We're ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So, number 12 always goes to Andy because Andy's the top 12 guy.
Sure.
12
All right.
top guy.
12 reasons why it's so hard to be a pastor nowadays. The younger audience seems to tune out after 144 characters.
Hey.
So true.
Yeah. The 15 seconds it takes. And by the way, Corey Hall, he is also a pastor.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. And Corey, Phillip, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
Number 11, people asking to be baptized in organic water. Organic water, man. Only organic water, not the filtered kind, man. All right, I'm sorry. Number 10 belongs to Pastor Phillip.
Number 10, thanks to Google, everyone thinks they're an expert theologian now.
Yep, this is true. And yeah, I just realized I still had your mic queued down, so I apologize. I'm not used to having guests in here, man. It happens
to me every week.
Oh, no. You're like, number 9, 2 words. Joel Osteen. And yeah. I know. Everybody just goes, oh God. Okay, so moving on, Andy, quickly.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Number 8. My parish could miss my online service if it isn't properly hashtagged.
Wow. And I'm seeing some of these for the first time too. So
okay.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Number 7, 12 top reasons why it's so hard to be a pastor now. Thanks to technology, people are turning to phone apps for the interpretation that works best for them. For them, yes. You know, there's always the Dr. Seuss version. So yeah. Number 6, Pastor Phillip.
Hey, thanks to the pandemic, people are only showing up. No, thanks for the pandemic. People think you should know them from attending online services.
Don't you remember I sent you that little wave? Yeah. Because your picture always accompanies your comments. So
all right, yeah, no, I'm the guy with the blurry background. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm the guy in the blurry background. Come on, don't you? I'm always smiling. Come on,
right? and usually eating nachos.
Right,
number 6. Thanks to the we just did that one. Where are we?
5.
Number 5. That's you, Andy. Why am I talking?
Don't do odds. What are you talking about?
No, I do odds. Never mind. Due to rising food costs, people are only showing up during the communion service and doing shots of grape juice and lots and lots of crackers.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We gotta get set up for this one.
This is your third time through the line. Come on.
And number 4 is sheep bite.
Sheep bite. Yeah, no, we don't trust the sheep anymore. Number 3, people don't read their Bibles because that's what we pay you to do. That's right, Pastor. That is your job. That's why we put the community basket out there. No, that's not how it works.
Right.
Number two, Andrew.
Number two, having to deal with statements like, I was going to come back, but realized your church only had 3.5 stars on Yelp.
Oh, that's good. Like I said, I haven't seen all these. And then our number one, there it is. I got the drum roll right that time. Number one reason you didn't give a sermon telling people how to vote.
What can you say?
Yeah,
He would have been wrong.
I know. Well, it doesn't matter. There's 30% one way, 30% another, and 33% the other. So there it is. That's our. Wow. I gotta.
Just call our list the random 12 list. That's good.
Oh, the random 12 list. There we go. Hey,
Yeah.
that's the colonel for you right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his weird addictive chemicals in his chicken. and he actually is from Kentucky. So no irony there. Anyway, all right. So there it is, our top 12 list, which is just a great way to segue into Pastor Phillip being here with us. So again, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for the invite.
I hope you enjoyed our snacks and stuff in the green room. They had sushi and everything like that.
Yeah, I have one of them in my mouth. It's called Ricola.
Oh, well, yeah, it's true. Ricola. Well, I'm so glad to actually finally get you on here. This is great. Now, I have several questions for you, but let's just start with some of the basics. I mean, let's see. How long have you been doing this now?
Yeah, so full-time vocational. Started in February of '83.
Wow.
Yeah, so coming up next February will be 40 years.
Oh,
Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
I
God.
started when I was 10.
I don't know about that. Yeah. Well, that was like my junior year in high school. So that makes me. Well, it's got to make you feel a lot older than me.
Hey,
But if you were 10, I guess it all balances out. Now, and what was your calling into this? What made you decide? Because you were kind of a bad kid back in the day, weren't you?
Hey,
you were a rowdy.
It was, so let me just kind of share with you, like, I'd always believed in God,
Right.
and I went to church. I had 4 brothers, identical twin brother.
Yes.
Dad would take us to church, drop us off, pick us up.
Right.
Mom insisted that we go. And so, we went, did the whole thing. Went through class and got baptized and all that. But
Right,
then
right.
probably junior high years, it's like, if Dad doesn't go, why do we have to go? And started fighting fighting that whole thing. And so we just kind of dropped out and was just living life. But God to me was, I would say, I had this warped view, or kind of more of a malevolent view, like, why are you making it rain when I'm supposed to be at the lake water skiing this weekend?
Right.
sure.
The God on demand kind of thing.
Why did you let
Right.
why did you let my dog die? Why don't you, my teenage years, why don't you clear up my acne?
and put a full tank of gas in the car.
Yeah.
Will you help me pass this test that I haven't studied for? And so I call it like kind of my Tylenol, God.
Sure.
Like,
Okay.
reach for him when
Right.
you need him, and then you put it back on the shelf when the crisis is past. And
Absolutely.
so that was just kind of my concept. And it wasn't till I went away to college and I was doing the college scene, enjoying life, partying, going to class, and I was doing fine. A lot of friends, but 2 things happened kind of back to back.
Right.
One was I went to a football game.
Mhm.
We snuck in some whiskey,
Nobody's ever done that.
Underage, and got totally plastered. And I'm on my way back in the throng of people, and I remember falling over, and that was it. So my next thing I know, I wake up in my room and with bed spins, and I try to run to the hallway bathrooms.
Oh yeah,
at the dorm.
The dorm,
and that's the last I remember.
Oh goodness.
So then 12 hours later, my roommate is smacking me around like, wake up. He thought I was in a coma.
Oh
yeah.
Wow.
And so then he tells me what had happened. He said, dude, you passed out on the way. I had to carry you back to the dorm. Then you try to make it to the restroom. You threw up over everything. I had to clean it all up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he's telling me all this is happening. I'm like, oh God, I'm sorry. I apologize. And so fast forward the next week, I'm at the football game.
Yeah. Again.
And 2 home games back to back. And it's like totally sober. Like, I'm not doing that again.
Not making the same mistake the third time.
And I'm walking through the whole crowd of people, and there's a guy drunk out of his gourd.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, probably shouldn't say the word I was singing at the time, but what a jerk. We'll put the nice word in there. And then it literally felt like someone tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned, there wasn't anyone there. And it wasn't like audible, but it was audible inside me.
Right.
And it said, that was you last week.
Yeah. Remember this?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. So that happened. And that was like sobering.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, oh man. So fast forward again, a few weeks later, I'm in my dorm room Friday night. Why I'm not out with the guys, doing our guy stuff, roller kegers, whatever, just having, but I was there.
Did you say roller kegers?
Yeah, roller kegers. You remember that? You roller skating, and you'd have kegs of beer.
Oh, well, we did that with skateboards, I guess. So
okay, yeah. So no, it was actually roller rinks. Okay, I'm a few years older than you are. Yeah, and so I'm having an existential moment. I guess I'm laying on my bed in the dorm with the crushed velour bed sheet because it's 70s.
Yeah,
there you go.
Farrah Fawcett's up
I was gonna say you got Farrah and Cheryl Teague.
Yes, that. And the dorm room's decorated, and I'm thinking, what? There's got to be more to life than this. Like I'm not flunking out. I'm not addicted to drugs. My girlfriend hasn't broken. Life is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I'm just thinking, there's got to be more than this.
Right.
There has to be. And so, like I said, my prayers have all been like, hey, help me. They're all rescue prayer or mad. Like, why are you blaming God or needing something desperately?
Right.
But in that moment, and it wasn't my tradition, I rolled off of my bed onto my knees, and I lifted my hands up just like in surrender, which was not my tradition that I had any experience with at all. And I simply said, God, if you're real, come into my life. I'm sick and tired of living this way. And in that moment, a peace that I'd never experienced in my life, tears were coming out of my eyes. And I remember that moment, and I got back, rolled back, went to sleep. And the next morning, Saturday, I'm like, I want to go to church.
Yeah.
And I had a guy that had a really cool Karma Gia convertible.
Yeah.
Green, tan interior. I can remember this. And he always went to church, and I asked him, can I go with you?
Yeah. And
that was my, what I call my beginning of really coming alive inside, from the inside out.
That was the spark.
That was it. And so and again, I knew nothing. Like,
I mean, you weren't in college studying theology or anything like that.
No, I was
philosophy.
I was business major.
Right.
And possibly going to law school. I hadn't made that decision. Just got to get through the first part first, But
and that's a big.
And so
part.
That was the beginning. And I now I didn't have to go to church. I wanted to.
Right.
I just wanted a Bible, and I just started. It was just hungry for it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. Like I didn't know theology. I didn't know, like, if you'd have told me, hey, I'm Chris and I'm Roman Catholic, and I'd say, oh, cool, I'm Phillip O'Reilly and I'm Irish, so let's go get a beer. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's like there was, I didn't know anything like Protestant, Catholic, you know, denominations. I mean, none of that. Like, I didn't know the scriptures, what it meant to, you know, be saved or born again. You need to repent of your sins. It's like,
Right.
that wasn't language.
No, that wasn't.
Yeah.
That was just.
I went to a very traditional church growing up. I didn't know the difference between any of that. It was all brand new.
Okay. Well,
so that was the beginning, and then I just started pressing in. Okay, what have I? I know I've experienced something that I haven't ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, something's tapped in.
Yes, and so I started reading, discovering, and then one thing leads to another, and okay, what about the Bible?
Right.
Is it real? Is it true? Is it man-made? I mean, all these things, start coming.
Yeah.
And questions, and it's like I'm just digging in, researching, looking, and that was before the internet. That was before Google. You have to actually read books.
Use the Dewey Decimal System.
Actually talk to people, and ask questions and things like that. And so that was it. And as things happened and grew, I learned how to study the Bible, learned how to get, look into it and study it, and then started some Bible studies with people on the college campus.
On the campus, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it just started. I just jumped in and learned and grew, and then people are like, you probably got a call in your life. And I'm like, I don't got a call. I don't know what a call is.
I do, but it's a long series of numbers on a row to dial.
And honestly, I started sensing it, but I resisted it.
Yeah.
I've told people, I've told our congregation, I said, you've read that poem about two footprints in the sand, and you go through a time of trouble and there's only one set, and the person says, why is there only one set? Well, because God says, because I'm carrying you during that time.
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful poem, but that wasn't my story. My story was butt prints in the sand. Like, I'm dragging you, like, because I resisted.
I was gonna say there's some finger marks in there. Not yet. No,
it wasn't. And in all seriousness, I mean, I was like, man, God, you've got the wrong person here. Like, my family's not going to understand this. My dad's not going to understand it. They're not going to pay for me to go to Bible college. I just know that. Like, that's going to be like, this is done here. So I'm doing everything I can to convince God that I can serve him in other ways.
Yeah.
And
you're like, I'll sing in the choir. Well,
yeah. Well, no.
I was going to say,
no, I have, I have CRD really bad. For those of you that don't know what CRD is, it's called Caucasian Rhythm Disorder. And I have a bad case of it.
He's very proud of that fact too, by the way. He doesn't shy away from that at all.
Yeah.
This must be the CRD support group then, because I don't know that anybody in here. We've all been suffering from this for quite a while.
No, but my dancing is biblical. There's the Hebrew word for manna, when it, in the children of Israel, and they were complaining about not having food, and then they got their manna. Well, manna means, what is it? So when I dance, people are like, what is it?
What is he doing? What is he doing? That guy's I think he's having seizures. Not sure what's going on. All right, so you've been called, and so you did go to Bible college.
Yep.
Okay.
After about 3 semesters and wrestling with the call, and just finally surrendered to it and said, okay, I actually had a thought. I don't want to be sitting in a bar someday, having drinks with someone and go, I felt called at one time, but I didn't do it.
What if?
Yeah, I didn't want to have. That impression came to me.
Yeah.
It actually came from a movie which will really, really date me, which was called Ice Castles with Robbie Benson.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And he's, he has a girlfriend who has gone blind, and he's bringing her back to skating again.
Yeah.
And they're having a conversation with the family, and the the father of this girl, like, why are you doing this? You're only setting her up for failure. And he says something of the state, if I don't try, I'll have to live the rest of my life wondering what it'd been like if I hadn't. And that was like the voice of God coming off the screen and plummeted me in the chest. And like, that was that moment. I go, oh my gosh, that's going to be me.
There it is.
There it is. And then that was why I finally said, okay, I can't live,
And,
at least jump into this and see.
Right.
Like, what have I got to lose? Like, except maybe a lifetime of regret.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. And so that's why I said God speaks to us through so many different, people want to try to, this is sacred and this is secular. And it's like, I said, what's such a dumb dichotomy? No. It's sacred and it's like, it's all God's. God created the whole earth. He created this stuff. And when people start making these, what I call dumb dichotomies or these religious things that are like, it just doesn't work well for me.
Right. They're making up their own versions is what you mean.
Well, but I mean, it's like there's cheesy Christian stuff. Like when this will probably get me in trouble, but okay.
No, because I got questions here that are going to get you in trouble. So don't worry.
Like Harley Davidson, like people giving me a shirt, but it says Heavenly Jerusalem, but it's got the Harley Davidson logo. Yeah. It's what it's copying stuff. It's like Jesus is it instead of Coke is it.
Oh,
and
sure.
And it's like, are we not more creative than this?
Right.
I mean, we're supposed to be worshiping a creative God and all we can do is copy.
Right.
I was like, give me a break. So that's what I mean by, trying to label, okay, well, I'm going to go on a Christian fishing trip.
Right.
Okay.
Like,
what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Are you gonna be fishers of men or are you gonna be fishers of fish?
I don't cuss or I don't have a beer.
Stupid trout.
Are we converting fish?
Yes.
And what kind of bait would you use?
Yeah. Well, only Christian bait. I don't know.
Well, the bait is the word, right?
There you go.
I was going to say, so you're ripping off pieces of the Bible and putting it on a hook and
come on.
Yeah. And out comes Jonah and the whale. All right. So you called and you started all this. And you have a very, like I said, if anybody ever wants to hear just the true word of what the Bible is about, this man nails it every time. You go to the rockykc.com because there are times where yes, you can be a little comical with your message and whatnot, which I absolutely love, obviously. But I also love the fact that you don't hold any punches. Even when you're kind of jostling around, you will stand up and flat out call the situation out, whatever it is. You will not back off of that. And I love the fact that, I mean, have you always been like that? Because I mean, you are definitely what they call a straight shooter or whatever. You're going to tell somebody, it is what it is, and this is how it is.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much how my personality is and the way I'm wired. But I always want to make sure that the scripture says, "Speak truth in love."
Right.
And so, you can be truthful but not very loving.
Right.
And so, consider it like a surgeon's scalpel. It's sharp, it cuts, but it's meant to heal.
Right.
But truth spoken without love is a blunt knife. It's a blunt instrument. It won't. You may hit the target, but you're not going to bring healing. Right. So I think that I think it's also, I have to look at it as like, I want people to shoot straight with me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be mean to me but I want them to be truthful with me.
Absolutely.
And straight with me. And there's a scripture that says, let the better are the wounds of a friend than the kisses of an enemy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, if you really love me, like, don't tell me I don't have cancer.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so I think what you're getting to, that's what's in my heart when I'm doing it. It's like, I want to be kind I want to be loving, but I also want to be truthful.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, trying to mix that together.
Okay.
And be able to say hard things in a loving way.
Right. But again, and I know, I mean, I can tell there's been times where you're actually upset when you're up there and you're preaching, and like I said, you're not holding back. You're saying, and you'll say, I'm upset.
Yeah.
I mean, flat out. And trust me, coming from me, this is a huge compliment. You go off on certain little tangents.
Sure.
Okay. This is how I got the name of this show. It's called the Random Christian Show, because I shoot off in 9 to 12 different ways, and then I bring it back in.
Sure. Because there's a squirrel out there. You gotta go after it.
There's a squirrel with something shiny. And yeah, see. But you go off and these tangents, but they're all so relative to, and the way you pull it back in. I mean, have you always been able to do that? Because I haven't. I can tell you it's definitely a gift the way you do it, because it's all relative to what you're saying and the way you do it. And well, now there's been a couple times I'm going to say we like, I'll look over at my wife and go,
we're way off topic.
Where are we going? So, I mean, but you tend to go off on a few different tangents, and then you bring it back in, and then just all of a sudden you're just like, oh, wow. The way you bring that message back in, it just hammers it all.
Yeah.
And was that something you really acquired, the way you speak like that? Or
I would say,
was it a happy accident?
I think it's a happy accident. No, I think it's it's the work of the Holy Spirit, honestly. In all honesty.
Yeah.
You know, the scripture says that Holy Spirit will teach you and train you and bring to your remembrance things that were taught in scripture, as well as bringing spontaneous things that you don't have any clue.
Right.
And it's, you know, when people want to try to, the Holy Spirit can be a mystery, but Jesus said he's like the wind.
Right.
And you've never seen the wind.
No.
I've never seen the wind.
Well, I could have sworn I did back in the days, but there was some pharmaceutical and other enhancements involved there. So
there you go. But you've sensed it. You felt it. You felt it on your skin.
Yeah.
You've seen the effect of it with trees and the
Right.
power of it. Right. So we don't have to make it such a mystery then. There are, right now, we're using technology. We're using things way beyond my knowledge on how they transfer, you know, to Bolivia, to France, wherever people are watching.
Right.
You know, I mean, but if you have the right instruments, you can tap into it.
Yeah.
Like even in this room right now, if we had an FM, you know, receiver, we could pick up FM stations.
Right.
If you had an AM, if you had, you know,
we'd reach for miles around here.
Yeah.
You know,
and on with, you know, we used to do CB radios before we had cell phones.
Yeah.
In our cars.
Yes.
You know, to connect with our friends and say,
the big whip antennas.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
And then you could get a power booster.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
maybe go out 2 miles instead of half a mile. But
talk to people out in Nebraska.
You know, so understanding that that idea is the same way with, well, how do you connect with God? Well, you need to have a relationship with him.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You gotta get the right receiver.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I got it.
And then you learn. And there you go. So that's what happened to me. God finally got a hold of me in a real and personal way in that dorm room.
Yeah.
And then in that moment,
something tuned you.
Yes. It tuned it in.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, you said, I mean, it's like all of a sudden you just felt it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had an experience, and you know, and that's God's personal.
Yeah.
And we can experience God.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, well, can't it just be experienced? Well, everything in your life is about something you've experienced. I mean,
that's true.
Is it?
Everything's an experience, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
Now,
it's something you experience.
I could tell you, I did my first ever vow renewal ceremony, 12,000 feet in the air, with a couple who wanted to renew their vows and then jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Yeah.
And they said, do you want to do it? And I go, absolutely, I'm in. And they go, are you going to jump out? I said, you're paying. I'm doing it. I've always wanted to do it. I said, I put it off. And it was, so I can tell you, man, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But it was my experience.
Sure.
Right.
You can't vicariously experience that. You could like, oh yeah, I bet that's good. God's good for you. Yeah. But you got to experience him for yourself.
Right. Absolutely. And which is kind of leading me into one of my other questions. It's something you say a lot, which, and I absolutely love, and I want you to maybe make sure you explain it better here. Order affects outcome. It's a big saying of yours. You say it a lot, and I love it because it's true. And order affects outcome. Now, what is the purpose of? I mean, because you really, like I said, you use it a lot, and I said, it's great, and I get it. So, what is the whole purpose behind the order affects outcome? That you're constantly plugging that.
Well, it's just a truth. That's so important because if you're a contractor, you know that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you build houses, certain things have to be done first.
You can't build a roof before the foundation.
Yeah. And so order affects outcome. And so for me, it's like God first. That's the order. Acknowledge him in all your ways. Don't lean to your understanding. This is like order affects outcome.
Yeah.
And so that's just, it's ingrained in me to just acknowledge him in all my ways. Don't lean to my understanding.
Do you see a lot of people getting lost with that fact? Like they'll try and put the cart before the horse or whatever, and then they're like, why doesn't this work? I don't get it.
Most of my counseling that I have with people is that their lives are out of order.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make God a little bobblehead that's, sitting on their dash and they rub him for good luck or whatever.
A little doll or something.
And I've done it in my own life where I've tried to convince God that this is what he should want for me.
Okay. Right.
And just really trying really hard to get him to want what I want.
Right. Because that's what you want.
Because
so God should want that too.
And he should want it too. And so I see it all the time when a lot of stuff, it's just out of order. They're not putting God first.
Right.
And they're not letting him be God.
And the irony of that fact is once you put God first, those things that you want are going to come.
Yeah.
Now, okay. I guess, maybe that big yacht that you've been dreaming about, that could come, but maybe not right after, you put God first. And
I've had enough things that God's let me have.
Yeah.
That I wish he hadn't.
Sure. Right. Yeah. Right.
It's like, man, I really wanted that horse. And horses cost money.
A lot of
they got vet bills. And all of a sudden I got a $300 a month bill just for
cleaning the hooves and mucking the stalls and I've been there. I know all of it. I used to race dirt bikes and this is going to be awesome. I got to pay how much?
Yeah.
Well, Dad, can't you help with the gas? And you thought you were going to drive me to I got to drive myself to the race. Okay, so I got to buy my own helmet. It's like after a while, it's like, wow. And like you said, order affects outcome. Yeah, you may get what you want, but you better be ready to take care of the rest of it.
Absolutely.
So, and like I said, and there's so many people that really need, because especially I think in this day and age, we are such an instantaneous society, and I know you've seen it. Oh, yeah. I've seen it. I'm not much younger than you. But it's amazing just, what we've experienced in our lifetime and how it's changed, I remember the internet first happening and how it was dial up and, now we're standing by a microwave going,
hurry up.
Dude. It's 30 seconds, that is the longest 30 seconds ever. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I am not watching the board or anything. We
saw
usually
it now.
do
That's okay.
I'm intrigued by our guest. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. We normally do a little quick commercial break where
Go for it.
I plead to people to sponsor our show. So, I think that's good enough. Hey, sponsor our show. Like Muddy River Tactical should sponsor our show. And, we'd really appreciate it. And, and we just lost Matt.
And he had to run out, I guess.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he just gave up at this point.
No.
Which, I wouldn't be surprised. So, and really that's the point of this show is we're trying to spread our word a little bit more. We bring a little positivity to everyone, and we need help. And with you, we can get that. So if you have a shop, if you have something that we can advertise, you've seen our slates at the beginning of the show, we can do something like that for you. And me being a professional voiceover artist, I can give you a nice 30, 60-second spot, and we'll run it during the show, beginning, middle, and after if you want. However you want to do it, we got it. So make sure you hit us up at therandomchristianshow.com. Now back to you, Pastor Philip. So, welcome back to the show. I'm Kristian. This is our guest, Pastor Phillip O'Reilly from the Rock of KC, where he preaches almost every Sunday, pretty much. Now, okay, let me ask you about that. How do you schedule yourself? Because I know it's a blessing to do it, and I love hearing it. But, I know everybody's got to take a little break now. But even when you take a break, like you're going off to other places to either, pastor somewhere else or talk somewhere else or help. You've gone down to South America a few times and help build things and whatnot. So what is that like? I mean, it's just kind of a 24/7, ain't it?
Yeah, it's 24/7. I mean, so the biggest there's a Harley Davidson t-shirt that says if you have to ask, you won't understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So people say,
okay, I get it now.
So when people say, so do you do this full time? Because they think I preach on Saturday night and twice on Sunday. And I said, yeah, I love this country,
Yeah.
I said, it's a great gig. I said, I work a few hours on the weekend and get paid. And but here's the big problem. It's all that volunteer time I have to put in between weekends that really like
there's those other 6.5 days that I'm volunteering.
So it's that volunteer work that's really killing me.
Jeez.
But so usually if I'm in town, I'm going to be preaching. And if I'm not, I'm either on vacation or I'm out doing something. I'm out I'm getting ready to leave June the 10th through the 23rd.
Okay.
And I'm going to Romania, and we're going to go and do relief work among the Ukrainian refugees.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we'll be doing physical labor as well as other things. There's an old Soviet building that is being rehabbed to make rooms for up to 300 refugees.
So just some housing, just to open up for housing. So that's
we
awesome.
have a ministry that we team with called Hope Force International that goes to disaster areas and other situations, and they vet and find out. They try to find gaps where people are not hitting. Where something's like being Samaritan's missed. Purse or some of these other big organizations are not hitting, and so we've teamed up with them. We've done work in Haiti. For the last 12 years, we've been there building homes, building houses, because there are still people that are without a physical home, still living in tents or huts.
Shanties, really. And shanties, it's just like a
from the
lean-to
earthquake
almost.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
But the media hits it for 2 weeks and then it's over.
Right.
But the people are left with the aftermath.
Well, and that's the thing too. The media hits it for 2 weeks, whatever. And, everything must be fine now because we don't see it. No, that's not how it works. It's still there. I mean, okay, just case in point, Joplin, when the tornado hit down there.
I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, everybody's like, oh, wow, it's such a horrible. Well, you know what? This happens all around the world.
Yeah.
Okay. And it doesn't just, because there's not a TV camera there focusing on, a wrecked house or something. It doesn't go away like that. it's still there. It still needs to be cleaned up. Then it has to be rebuilt. And the great thing about Joplin was they started rebuilding better.
Right.
And I mean, they literally learned from the mistakes, which I thought was amazing. I've seen a couple documentaries on what's been going on down there. And I thought it was just absolutely amazing how they actually took the science of what screwed up
Sure.
and made it work. So, and yeah, it didn't go away. And in fact, they still, in a way, there's some things that are still being cleaned up down there in certain aspects. But yeah, the Haiti, I mean, and because of the, and I hate to say it, because of the governments and things like that, there's just no funny, and they don't honestly care.
No.
And
the corruption in those, well, corruption. find humankind, you find corruption.
Right. Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's just the reality.
Yeah. And it's horrible. Yeah. So, but yeah. And yeah. So, and I love the fact that this Romanian, they actually find, like you said, the gaps that aren't getting filled. Yeah. We got this working, but this still needs to be done too.
And
so
you've been around me long enough to know that, I don't let the fact that I can't do everything keep me from doing something.
Right.
And God didn't ask us to do everything. He just asked us to do something.
Right.
And he's not asking for what's in another person's hand.
Yeah.
It's what's in your hand. And, people say, well, if I had Bill Gates money, or if I had Elon's money, I would do this, that, and then. Well, you don't.
Yeah.
So,
and very rarely are
and you're probably not going to get it.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with what you've been given?
Right.
And what you can do, what you can't do for the many shouldn't keep you from doing something for one.
For the few.
Right. Sure. And so those are kind of what I call motivating principles.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's an excellent point. Which is, I'm trying to go in order of my questions here, and you're making me jump around. It's throwing my whole game off.
No, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Oh, no.
Father, forgive me for I've sinned.
No. Okay. So, okay. Okay. I'm just going to jump into it real quick, because the church, Rocket KC, is involved in many different charitable aspects. One of them, which I think is great, is the Run to Stop It.
Sure.
Which I mean, with Benji, I always say his name wrong. I always say Nolo. And that whole the sex trafficking and that the way they attack that, I think is just fantastic. And we've actually got the Rock of KC Elevate Men group that actually tries to get these guys that are trying to contact young prostitutes and stuff. They're
going after, they go online and create an ad for an underage girl or boy, and then people call in, and so
and they go, hey, guess what?
I'm looking for whatever the name is, and then they just openly say, well, this is not her, but this is what's happened. And so it's not like, hey, we got you, but and so some of the neat stories are some of these guys break down and start crying. So I want out of this,
because they're lost.
Yeah. And they're just, hey, God gave us the desire for sex.
Right.
He did. I mean, it's called the attraction.
Right.
Like, if you weren't
Adam and
attracted,
Eve,
if you weren't attracted, you wouldn't cohabitate, then you wouldn't reproduce, after your own kind.
Right.
And so the church, I think, has done a poor job in shaming people for having I don't shame you for being hungry.
No.
And so I shouldn't shame you for having
people should be shaming me a little more for being hungry.
For having a sexual appetite. So the point of the matter is it under God's plan?
Right.
So I call the fireplace of commitment, marriage. You can come to my house and you can have a fire in my fireplace, but you can't just openly have it anywhere in the house. You'll burn the house down.
There's a fireplace.
Yeah. And so, there's the sexual desire is a fire. It's a passion, but it burns best in a place of commitment.
Yeah.
There's not, that it's people think it's so restrictive. No, it's for your benefit. You're not going to be subjected to sexually transmitted disease by having multiple partners.
Right.
You know, there's intimacy, there's non-comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, so I could go, you know.
I was going to say,
you know,
we
forever.
can go off
We
forever
could
on
talk
that
about
because,
that,
I mean, yeah, just the passion, you know, just
But
coming
the human
from,
trafficking thing was, when I first learned of it,
Mhm.
then I realized I've got grandchildren.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Well, yeah,
you know,
kids, period.
these
Just even
are
thinking about that.
innocent children
Yeah.
that someone wants to violate.
Right.
It will pay money to violate. And
Yeah.
so when I
Knowingly.
when I learned of it, I was broken. I was just like weeping, like this is going on. And I thought, you know, well, it's in Asia. It is, but then we found it's some of the biggest perpetrators are right here. I mean, it's one of the greatest demands are, you know, Westerners going to these countries and wanting it.
Right.
I mean, when I went to Bangkok for the first time, I'm in a taxi with my son, and this guy is giving us these cards with these voluptuous young girls. Hey, for $100,
that may be boys
all night long. Yes. And they just assumed because we're Westerners.
That's what
you're looking for. Right.
Yeah. And it was like,
Did you say my name's not Andy
I'm telling
Drake?
you, taxi player. I said, I don't.
Sorry.
I lifted up my hand. I said, I don't think my wife will approve of this. And I've got my son with me right there. You know.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah. But I mean, to them, it was just
that's another
normal operations.
And it's a product, you know, and they don't have to go get more drugs and to sell. They can resell this product over and over
again. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, and for me, when I heard of it, then I said, number one, it would be unconscionable for me to do nothing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I cannot know this now and do nothing.
Yeah. You can't unsee it.
And so that's Run to Stop It came out of my daughter challenged me to at 50 to run a half marathon with her. And I opened my mouth, inserted my foot and said yes to this. Why would I want to run 13.2 miles or 13.1?
Yes.
Like, why would I want to do that?
And not in always the best weather.
And then I thought, it was all random. You know, which I love this random. It was like, there was no thought to it. Yeah. It was no thought in all seriousness. I thought, well, then we ought to do it for a cause. And then I'd invite the whole church to do it.
Right.
And well, my daughter was so disappointed, not in what it's become.
This is supposed to be a me and you thing,
it was
Dad.
supposed to be a bonding moment for us. And I said, and so I've apologized to her. She's forgiven me. And we've been able to, so the first time it was like no set goal, just try to raise some money.
Right.
And to raise awareness and raise finances to support like Exodus Cry, Benji Nolo.
Right.
Christine's place local here in Kansas City.
Yeah, which I wanted to tap into also.
And to give 100% of the proceeds away.
Yeah.
And we charge no overhead, anything for all of this. And our goal this year, if we can raise 323,000, something like that, then we'll have reached the 2 million mark, $2 million given away over the last 12 years.
Not one penny kept.
Not one penny.
No. And which totally, I mean, it's amazing because
that's incredible.
There's other non-charitable places and religious non-charitable places that keep a percentage.
Right. And, you know, and there are underwriting. I mean, there are administrative costs. There's
absolutely
into these things, but I'll just go off on, I was doing relief work in Florida with Hope Force International. And I was at a home and there was a guy who was with the railroad. And he was an executive and he's 6-figure salary guy.
Right.
And somehow something came up about Samaritan Purse, Billy Graham.
Oh, okay.
And he was going off on that. Like, I just believe they shouldn't pay him $500,000 a year to like whatever. But I'd done some research because I'm like, okay, what was it? So 87, 89% of all that comes in goes to the field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
So when you do the math on the amount they brought in, like half a penny of every dollar went to his salary.
Right.
And so I just kind of brought all this out.
Yeah.
I go, so let me ask you a question. I said, how much do you make? You know, because I'm a 6-figure guy. I said, okay, so you make a really good salary. I said, let me ask you a question. If I put $500,000 in your hand, can you turn it into 128 million? And then can you give 89% of it away?
What'd he say?
Well, he was dumbfounded.
Yeah,
he never thought of it that way.
Right.
All he could think of was nobody should get that big of a salary. I was like, I would be, as an investor, I'd be stupid to give you $500,000.
Right.
When you would probably go buy a boat, a lake house, and benefit yourself, and maybe give a few dollars away. This guy, year after year, is turning this into $128 million.
Just constantly
and not only
it
that,
back
he's employing people with their administrative costs.
Right.
They have advertising dollars. So people who make videos and shoot things are making money. So it's not like it's all going into his hand.
Right.
I mean,
and
I would
somehow stimulating the economy in the process.
Yeah.
You know?
And so in the world, you wouldn't consider, it's like, man, I'd be a fool not to put this basketball. If you keep it in my hand, it's worth less than when I paid for it.
Right.
But if I put it in Michael Jordan's hand, all of a sudden it's worth multiple millions of dollars.
Yeah. Oh my
and that's what people they want to attack things and talk out of ignorance. And sometimes you just have to educate them.
Be like, here, there. So, and now you touched on it real quick. Christine's place, which I think is just a fabulous, I mean, that lady is amazing on her own. Blind, came off the streets, ex-prostitute, cleaned herself up, and then turned around, and she's been helping all these other prostitutes get off the streets, get their lives back together, and going, and the church is very active in helping that out. I think what is where did you all find that?
Yeah. So, when we first started Run to Stop It, it was called Run for the Silent, and it was a ministry out of Tyler, Texas, that was basically doing work in Asia. In Thailand. Well, then when we started learning about America issues and then local, and then I started asking around and found out about Exodus Cry, which was based out of Grandview, and then people started talking to me about this guy named Russ Tuttle, who's with the Stop Trafficking Project, and he's here in Kansas City, and they go into schools because they want to prepare. Basically, human trafficking is built upon the exploitation of vulnerabilities. So they're exploiting children and their vulnerabilities. They're exploiting people caught in poverty. Yeah. I mean, it's just exploitation. That's what, that you find greedy people. The love of money is at the root of all manners of evil. Yes. That's the scripture. It didn't say money is evil. It's the love of it. And people will die and kill and steal and cheat and lie for money. Right. So hey, here's a way to get a product that I can repeatedly get money for over and over again. Right. Yeah. So then we found out about Kristian McDonald, and then a guy by the name of Lee Gibson who heard about this. So this story is just too long to go into, but he mortgaged his home and bought a whole block on Independence Avenue, the very avenue where Kristian was trafficked for 17 years. Wow. And they are now rehabbing this place, and they have a drop-in center. My wife goes into on a monthly basis. She goes and ministers there. And these girls can come in and get a shower, get a change of clothes. They can get food, and they can get treated like human beings. Right. And so now they are going to be the first. They just got approval, and they're going to be the first in the state of Missouri to be able to have someone who's ready to come off the streets to be dropped off, and they have a place to stay. They have medical attention.
They get it all.
And get it all. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Seriously.
Yep.
That is
it's
awesome.
Happening. Yeah.
And that's, and I used the wrong term. You used it correctly, where she was being trafficked, because a lot of these women, this is not their decision. They are tricked into it, and they are pushed into it, and then they are controlled by it. Yep. And it's just so unfortunate. And when I first heard about this, when I started attending the church, I like for a while there, I just had a ball in the pit of my stomach because I used to be a DJ at a strip club, and I was basically the pimp getting these girls out on the stage.
Sure.
And, I remember, half of them were drunk or stoned or whatever. Yep. And I'm like, whatever, as long as you can get up there and make me some money, that's what's important. Because I got 15% of their tips. Yeah. And, there was times where I was, after I started hearing a lot more and like I said, I wasn't thinking about it as them being trafficked. I was thinking about them as, it's your own, because that was kind of their own free will. They were talked into it or something, and then I found out a lot more on the other side that I really didn't want to know and was part of at one point. And that's why I just removed myself from it completely. Sure. And ironically, at that point, when I did that, my radio career took off because I was like, I got to get out of it. And I even told a couple of my friends, I'm like, I'm not even letting these guys know where I'm going. And after that, all of a sudden, and I was like, because it was do or die. I was kind of like you.
So you went to the very low profile job of radio.
I'm going to be a DJ. No, for some reason at that point, I'd been interning. I interned at a KSJO for a while. I'd worked at the college radio station. And again, I kind of like you said, in your day, you felt you were this is I don't want to have the what if. Yeah. And I've been doing that. I've been working in transportation for years, and I'm like, I'm going to go for it. Sure. And then, like I said, I had that downfall, but once I left, it was like God going, okay, there you go. Sure. Yeah. And which I get now. Back then it was like, oh, well, the force is behind me, because that's what I tended to call God at that time. Now, let me ask you this. Is faith more important than biblical knowledge?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Faith is the currency of heaven. Okay. I mean, it's the exchange. It's the belief.
Right.
And so there are a lot of people with biblical knowledge that don't have faith.
There. Okay. And that's because there's so many people, and which goes back to our top 12 list. Yeah. There's because of Google. Oh, I've got all this theological knowledge. No, that doesn't make you knowledge of anything. That just, it's what's in here and what you believe and how you communicate with God, I think,
Yeah. So Jesus in Matthew 16 says to the disciples, who do men say that I am?
Yeah.
And then, so they said, well, some say Elijah.
Right.
Some say John the Baptist or whatever. So it's the opinion of men.
Right.
But then he says, who do you say that I am?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who do you say that I am? And Peter says, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God.
Right.
And Jesus goes, bingo. Well, that's my translation.
I think it was a little more eloquent than that.
Flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father who is in heaven.
Right.
So biblical knowledge alone won't save you. You can know all about a person, but do you know the person?
Right.
Do they know you?
Mm-hmm.
That's faith. That's relationship. And without faith, you can't come into relationship with God.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And because, well, see, and again, in this day and age where there's so much access to so many things so quickly, people think they do know it all. And, oh, well, I don't need to go to church. Yeah, you do. You do need. And that's why, and I, which is kind of into another sub question here. You chose a non-denominational church. Okay. Which I totally get. But now explain why.
Well,
the short version, if you can.
Denominations are, they're like, I guess they help people to identify.
Okay.
Well, I'm a Baptist, or I'm an Anglican, or I'm an Episcopalian.
Okay.
I'm this or that. I don't see that as necessarily biblical.
Right.
I mean, as far as the church, there's one church.
Right.
Okay, there
Yeah.
might be many manifestations, but there's only one true church.
Right.
Of people who actually do believe. They're not just going through the motions.
Right.
Going through the rote or the tradition. And so for me, it just fit more of what I believe is the biblical framework
Right.
of a non-denominational. Like, we're Christians. We proclaim to be.
As far as we know.
And hopefully most of us are wanting to grow in our faith and more and more of Christ likeness coming. It's a process,
right?
Absolutely. It's an ongoing process.
Now, being non-denominational with the certain, you've got Protestant, you've got Lutheran, you've got Catholic, you've got Roman Catholic, which
Orthodox, Greek
okay,
Orthodox.
yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah.
Andy.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah,
there you go.
Andy's Greek.
Yeah.
And he changed his name to protect the innocent, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
But now, would that also be considered a way of trying to divide us? Because I know that the way of the world, which is the way of Satan. Okay, I mean, Satan is of this world. That's all there is. I mean, that's the cold hard truth. And especially nowadays with so many things being divided amongst us. Do you think that was one of the early tricks?
I think it could be. I want to be careful because
it's definitely a fine line.
Yeah, because I think it can definitely be divisive for sure. And I'm of Paul. I'm of Apollos. I mean, you read the scriptures in Corinthians; they were very carnal. It's a carnal. It's more of a worldly carnal thing, in a lot of ways. But then there are deep. When I'm not Greek Orthodox, but there are some deep meaning and revelation to a lot of the practices.
Right.
And I think people are wired a little different, at times. And so, I like high praise. I like, a full band. I mean, that's my expression. But I can appreciate people who have a different pathway, in a sense, is will. And so I think what tends to happen though is we can't tend to make our distinctives the distinctives.
Right. It's got to be that way.
Yeah. And instead of, it's like, it doesn't float my boat.
Yeah.
But I'm not knocking it.
Okay.
Right.
This is the way you are expressing your worship to God, and there's nothing unbiblical about it. Okay. And so for me, the scriptures, you heard me say this, I don't worship the Bible,
right? But
the Bible instructs my worship.
Right. Because it's the word of God. It's the law.
Because I believe it's inspired and it's God breathed, and it's not just my suggestion manual, it's my instruction manual.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When all
from point A
fails,
to point B to C to D. Yeah.
Hey guys, when all else fails, read the instructions, right? I don't need a map. I can get there.
Which we all do like to make our own rules after a while.
Yeah.
I can figure this out. I better go get
So
the
we actually have a question from Corey Hall here. He says, would you agree that even non-denominational churches tend to follow a denominational doctrine? Therefore, is the denomination necessary to define theology and doctrine?
Great question and statement. And again, that, it can become, we're non-denominational, but doesn't mean we don't have our traditions. I mean, and then, and we have our traditions, and and so I think well stated. And is the denomination necessary to define theology and doctrine? And I think in some cases, because there are certain denominations that will emphasize these are our doctrinal truths.
Yeah.
And to be a part of us, you need to embrace these doctrines. Just like the controversy going on right now with some of these bishops that are not allowing certain high-profile politicians to take communion.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're not adhering to the doctrines of the Roman Catholic faith.
Right. Well,
but
that's a slippery slope right there too.
Well,
I don't know. And that's a topic for another time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know, Matt, I know. So I got a few more questions. I'm just going to try and I'm like in one of your sermons now. I'm like trying to catch up at the end here.
Okay.
Okay. So, the biggest challenges of being a God-fearing person in today's world, what do you think is the biggest challenge right now that faces everyone?
Well, I think especially in the secularization of society.
Right.
What the polls are showing that you've got, and like in America, like don't quote me, but like 54% of people are identifying as nuns.
Right.
No religious affiliation.
It's a gray. I want to be gray.
And so we are very polarized and very I mean, a lot of polarization. And so we're living in the cancel culture.
Yeah.
I mean, we are. I mean, like if you don't affirm, like I can affirm that you believe certain things, but that's not just affirmation. I want to condone it.
Right.
And if I don't condone it, I'm a hater.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
you're completely wrong, and you're the worst person in the world.
Right.
And
then people are creating God in their own image. I mean, and people literally are making God up. Well, I don't believe God would be this way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, okay. And so then they've just created their own God.
Yeah.
And so, man, as soon as you don't, there was a time where, you know, I see these bumper stickers, coexist. Right next to it, mean people suck.
Yeah. Right.
Like I don't have any hair on my head because I've rubbed it all off. I'm going, I thought we're supposed to coexist, and now you're saying mean people suck. So how are you going to coexist with someone who sucks? And you're calling them? I mean, it's like, okay, anyway.
Yeah. No. Okay. No. Excellent. And now, let's see. I know. Okay. First off, 40 years of marriage.
Yes.
Boom. That's amazing. You just celebrated that. That is so absolutely awesome.
It's a miracle of God.
Yeah.
It's a grace of God.
And a lot of patience on her end, I believe too.
Well, a whole lot.
Because I have I know.
Yeah.
My wife. So one thing I loved that you said during this, you were talking about this weekend. Men forgive, women think about forgiving. You know, and then possibly forgive with an explanation. Would that be correct? I mean, because I think we're pretty easy going. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, that's all good. But then women, no, but this is what makes the marriage between a man and woman perfect. Yeah, because you get the in-depth. You know, she's going to take the time and now, and I don't have the time, but the way you explain it, and if anybody can go to therockcasey.com, check out his it was you and your wife, right? Pastor Susan. Yeah. And they did a great explanation of how they achieved 40 years of marriage.
Like just lessons we'd learned.
Yeah. And it was absolutely awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. We talked about the division of the world. I mean, how the world has been dividing us in so many different ways nowadays. I mean, it's obviously a true, trick of Satan to be doing this. And I mean, I think it's so funny because, I used to be so into sports and I mean, rabid, Giants, Sharks, Raiders, Warriors. And then, I started really, wow, this is just, especially after I accepted Christ and stuff, I was like, this is just another way of separating me from everybody else. I mean, you've been to a Chief Raiders game. There's not a lot of love there sometimes. I've been in Oakland Coliseum where I've seen fights break out next to me just because the guy's wearing a San Diego Chargers jersey. It's just amazing. And we just keep, there's so many different ways now that we're divided. What is the easiest way to get rid of the coercion of it all?
Oh man, I don't know. I think it starts with conversation.
Yeah.
And and that's not necessarily online. Like when I see certain things and certain people posting things, if I know them, I always pull the conversation offline
Oh, there you go.
and say, let's talk.
Yeah. So
Because
you break it down, you get them
we're
one-on-one.
not going to win this out here.
Right.
Because it's just 144 characters. Bam, I got you. People say stuff out there they'd never say to you, when you're sitting down across from them.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think
there's so much bravery online.
I think we've got to get back to conversation.
Well, in person.
In person too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Or at least pick up the phone.
Yeah. Actually talk.
Or have a Zoom or a video face to face.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
a live an absolute live conversation negates any sort of implied text, what you read over text versus how they're actually saying
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we've lost friendships over misperceived text messages and social exchanges.
Yeah. Right. And just people are they're just wired to jump and bring conclusions and without, hey, clarify what you said there. Help me understand a little bit more.
Yeah.
Where are you coming from on this?
Because all it takes is one comma in the wrong place or something, and then you're just like, whoa, hey, he's up there, buddy. And then they're like, what? That's not what I meant. Well, it's hard to tell,
Yeah.
Especially when everybody uses their texting shorthand. All right. Well, I mean, and you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
I know. I'm getting yelled at. You can't.
Okay. I'm not hearing that.
I know. No, he's not yelling. He's typing, yelling.
Yeah.
But
we gotta go. We gotta wrap this up.
I know. And because I seriously, we could probably keep you here at least another hour. So I've got many more questions, but maybe
let's do a part 2.
I was going to say, would you be able to come back?
I'd be more than willing to come back.
All right. I'll try and get better air circulation in here and stuff too, because I know I get a little ripe after a while, especially wearing the coat.
You just get and make sure you get a chauffeur to pick me up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Well, I got the wife.
Yeah, if we get a sponsor, we can handle that. Let's get a nice auto sponsor in there, and then we can use that to pick up the pastor.
Absolutely. All right. So I like to do, and I've just got a couple that I'm going to ask him real quick. Our random questions of insanity. Let me, because boom, there it is. And I didn't do the dun dun dun. Yeah. See, I'm all over the place. This is why I need a board up. This is why we need a sponsor. So I have a board up and interns and people doing what I need done. Corey Hall, you could help out. Okay, so first we have 2 standard quick questions. Okay. All right. One is, what is your favorite James Bond film?
Oh my gosh, Live and Let Die.
Yes, knew it. That's right. What is your favorite sandwich? Bread to bread. You're making whatever sandwich you want. This is it. You open the fridge, everything you need is right there. What is it?
It would have to be a Reuben.
Oh,
a good Reuben. Yeah.
Okay.
I love you. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. This will be the last one. You have 30 seconds to tell the world something. What is it?
That's too easy for the pastor.
Yeah,
damn it!
I call bull on that question. He has way more than 30 seconds to tell the world whatever he wants every Sunday.
Yes, there you go.
But on this show, he has 30 seconds.
He's had 2 hours on this show.
Fine.
To
What's
tell
better?
the world what he wants.
What's better? Ding dongs, ho hos, or Twinkies or fruit pies?
Do I get to ask a question?
Okay, you get to ask a question. Yeah. Twinkies. Oh, okay. Twinkies. Got it. There are no wrong answers, by the way.
Deep fried.
I want to know. I want to know the funniest way the pastor has ever broken the law.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody watches this show anyway, so no.
Right. No, trust me, you're okay here. You're okay.
Except for France.
trying to think,
When you
man.
go
It's like,
overseas, you're going to get questioned in France.
These are the ones I got caught at. It has to be. I don't know. I don't have anything that's funny. I don't.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
all right. Okay. You get one more. I'll give
really?
you one more.
I get one more now?
Since he didn't really have an answer for your first one.
Okay.
Well, before Matt explodes, look,
all right. So if you had the ability to interview anybody famous and you could call them and they would give you 10 minutes, who would that be?
They have to be living.
No, could be
No.
anybody.
I would love to interview the Apostle Paul.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Good
one.
answer.
Yeah.
Good one.
Nope.
I
We'll
mean,
take it.
Again, no wrong answers.
he
No
wrote
wrong.
Yeah.
most of the New Testament.
Yeah,
so-
I was going to say.
I got some questions.
No, that's great.
Just a couple.
That's good.
Just
Just
a
a
few.
couple.
Oh man.
I'd
Might
take
need
more
20
than 10
minutes for that
but
one.
I would take-
All right. This one I think will be a good one for you. Who wins in a fight, Kirk or Picard? Star Trek.
Oh, Kirk
doesn't.
would have to.
Yeah. All
Kirk would
right.
have to.
We're ending it on that one
Yes.
right there because yeah, that's yeah. So that being said, then cue there it is. There's the music. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Phillip O'Reilly, I thank you so much for being
Enjoyed
here.
it, guys.
Really,
Andy,
really,
bless you,
really,
man.
really great.
Nice to meet you. Thank you
Great
so
job.
much.
TheRockKC.com. You can go there, watch him every Sunday. Well, most every Sunday, unless you're out volunteering somewhere or
There
doing
you
something
go.
like that. If not, if you can't watch it live, if you're in Kansas City, come on up, look him up on the website, and we'd love to see you there Saturday and twice on Sunday morning. They have the services. They're involved in so many different charities. So go to the website there. You can check it out and get involved, especially with this Run to Stop It. It happens every year. Great efforts. And hopefully after this year, we'll be at the 2 million total mark.
Yeah, that's our
And
goal.
how many years is that, by the way?
We're going into our 13th, I think.
13th years, almost $2 million.
Wow. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right.
All
Really,
right, bless you,
again,
man. Thank you.
so much. Really
All right.
appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Phillip
Hey.
O'Reilly. Hey, where's my applause button? There it is. Now it's more than just two people. There we go. Pastor, thank you so much. I will talk to you very much soon, I guess. And yeah, so there we go.
Okay.
And then next week we've got comedian Andrea Woodfolk next week. That'll be same bat time, same bat channel here. For myself, for my friend Andy, who's very small today. Yeah, he's right there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yay.
And we really, really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Matt, thank you for coming back and exploding. Yes, nerd alert. I know. I had to ask the Kirk question, and it's just one of those things I always have to do. I want to thank everybody that was involved. The Advisor Facebook page, Colonel James Broadus. Thank you so much for all your help and support and love. Our band, our house band that I'm trying to get queued up. There they are. That's right. The Dead Campers. They're on Spotify and SoundCloud. Make sure you check them out. Like, follow, and subscribe. Like, follow, and subscribe. Review our pages wherever you're watching us, listening to us. Make sure to give us some love. Pass the word around. Like I said, next week, comedian Andrea Woodfolk will be on. The week after that, Kenny Lewis, the guitarist and now bassist for the Steve Miller Band. After that, on the 21st, TikTok chiropractor John Bannock Burn. Oh my gosh. I've got a few weeks to get practice for that.
There you go. Good job.
But he does some great, and it's going to be on National Go Skate Day, by the way, so that'll be awesome. But he gives so many great tips and talks people through their pain and injuries. He's a great guy, a lot of fun. Talked to him before. After that, at the end of the month, comedian Maggie Mayfield will be on. She is hilarious. Just dropped a very funny single and won a couple of contests for her comedic bits. And then, not too long after that, writer-director C.J. Vecchio with his scary films, The Evil 3, and a few others that he's done. We're going to have him on right after the 4th of July. And I'm just going to tease it right now. Bob Smiley, comic genius, will be taking time out of his tour, national tour. He's going to stop in. I believe it's on the 19th is what we've nailed down. That is going to be absolutely awesome. He's such a funny guy. If you go to TikTok, you can watch him on there. He does the Smiley Minute, and just absolutely hilarious. Every day you get to see a little bit of his comedy. So in the meantime, Andrew, Rum and Regret this week?
Yeah, we are. We are reviewing Top Gun with the genuine retired naval aviator tonight.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So some authenticity in the whole thing as well.
Right.
Not just you guys sitting around drunk and talking about a movie.
Exactly, right. So we will drop that on Friday.
Beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Matthew, thank you for coming back and yelling at me and typing while I could totally ignore you while I paid attention to our guest. Andy, thank you so much for being here. For all the rest of you, thank you so much. Pass the word around. Be good to each other. God bless you. Take care of each other. We're all we got out there, kids. So be good. All right. In the meantime, till next week,